Well, as we mentioned earlier this week, we're not quite done with winter just yet, but if we're lucky, we might dodge the brunt of another big storm brewing up from the States. This next Colorado low is producing up to 2 feet of snow in some parts of the U.S. Midwest as it makes its way to the Great Lakes. It's also producing hours of freezing rain and strong winds. Environment Canada issued a weather statement for Sault Ste. Marie, St. Joseph Island, Searchmont, Montreal River, and Batchewana Bay, indicating that snow and ice pellets will start this afternoon, changing to freezing rain by tomorrow evening. Snow and ice pellet amounts from just a trace to 2 centimeters are likely. The freezing rain, however, may last for several hours before changing to rain early tomorrow morning. Freezing rain warnings may be required. Ontario's progressive Conservative government is set to table its first budget this afternoon. Premier Doug Ford has said the fiscal plan will lay out what he calls a thoughtful path to a balanced budget, though he hasn't said how long it will take to eliminate a $13.5 billion deficit. The Tories pegged the deficit from the previous Liberal government at $14.5 billion after winning a majority in last year's provincial election, but the Financial Accountability Officer has said it was closer to $12 billion. Ontario's third quarter finances indicates the $1 billion reduction so far in the deficit is largely due to higher sales and corporate income tax revenues. Opposition politicians have accused the Tories of inflating the deficit so they can justify cuts to programs and services. Treasury Board President Peter Bethlen-Falvey has said he would like to cut waste and the $12.5 billion a year the province spends on interest on its nearly $350 billion debt. Sources have said the budget will include free dental care for low-income seniors. Education Minister Lisa Thompson has also hinted that childcare news will be coming in the budget as well. According to a document presented to the Toronto District School Board's Budget Committee, Ontario's largest school board has to account for a $28.7 million shortfall next year because of the province's changes to education funding. The Progressive Conservative government announced cuts to education funding last month, including by increasing the average class size for grades 4 to 8 from 23.84 to 24.5. That's a move the board says will cost it nearly $10 million next year. The board has yet to decide what it will cut to balance the books, but regardless of what they tweak, TDSB chairperson Robin Pilkey said that students will feel the effects. Thousands of teaching positions are expected to be lost while the changes, including a bump to the average high school class size, are phased in, though Education Minister Lisa Thompson has said there will be no involuntary job losses.
Thank the Justice Committee for its work, for the 10 hours of testimony they heard, and indeed we were pleased to give an unprecedented waiver to allow individuals to fully share their perspective on the matter at hand.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau fired back at the opposition parties under repeated questioning about the SNC-Lavalin affair during a very heated question period yesterday in the House of Commons.
Conservatives continue to mislead Canadians, and Canadians deserve better. On Monday, the Conservative leader refused to denounce white supremacists in this House. On Tuesday, a Conservative senator said, quote, "I would find it disturbing to believe that there's a politician in this country that believes that white supremacy is a threat to our way of life in Canada." When will the Conservative leader finally denounce white supremacists by name, and will he denounce comments from a member of his own caucus?
I have always 100% denounced white supremacy and racism and anyone who promotes those hateful ideologies. He also knows that that senator withdrew and clarified his remarks, and that I continue to denounce those types of messages. And this is what is disgusting about this. They are using the very real threat of hatred and racism in this country to cover up their corruption scandal.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she'd like to see a woman on Democrats' 2020 presidential ticket in the States, but she's not insisting on it.
I think the women are doing very well. By the way, I think that we have a great field of candidates. It isn't complete yet, I understand, but I think any one of them would be a better president of the United States than the current occupant. I know that's a low bar, but nonetheless, that's what I think. Now, in addition, we're very proud of the women candidates who are in the race, and most of the people you named, especially Vice President Biden and Senator Sanders, they have name identification, and they have a reputation, and it's they're good reputation. So it wouldn't be surprising that they would be in the forefront. But that's what campaigns are about, for people to make their case, show why they're running, what they care about, how they intend to get the job done, and how they connect with the American people. I think it's going to be very exciting.